Okay, so the resource I have today is called Teacher Monster, and this resource is targeting specifically phonemic awareness or phonological awareness. Um, One thing that I found really hard when compiling these resources was finding something that truly helps target phonemic awareness and not just phonics. A lot of resources online confuse the two or act as if they're both the same when they're not. Phonemic awareness deals with the ability to speak and manipulate the sounds in language, that physical skill, whereas phonics is just identifying the relationships between letters and their sounds. And this resource does both, but I'm going to use it as a phonemic awareness resource because I feel like phonemic awareness resources for students to use are so rare. So, if we look here, this is the home page. There's 4 different kinds of games or activities for students to do. There's the Teacher Monster to read, Teacher Monster reading for fun, Teacher Monster number skills, and adventurous eating. The only one I've really played around with and the only one we're going to focus on today is the Teacher Monster to read. This resource is really intended for students with foundational reading skills, or who are learning foundational reading skills, the very beginning skills for phonemic awareness and phonics. But this is the home page, and this resource is completely free. If I go over to my account, which it did not take a lot at all to create an account, all I had to do was put in my email and password, and that was really it. I created a classroom group. You can do multiple groups if you have multiple classes for whatever reason, or if you're dealing with multiple sets of students. But as you can see, I've added just a few players that I just made up, and you can see each of the players. You can see that you can edit, delete them if you need to, if they leave your classroom for whatever reason. And students access this game through a class code or through a quick student login, which is pretty consistent with other resources I've seen like this one. So if we go over to stats, this is where you'll see your students' progress. So I really appreciated that this resource is very game-based, very activity-based, but it still offers data for teachers. There's a lot of resources that just offer one or the other, very rigid and just focus on giving teacher feedback, or it's fun and engaging, more activity-based, more media-based, but it doesn't give the research, it doesn't give the data, the statistics, and this website does. So if you scroll down, you can see this is all of the graphemes that the modules will go through. It goes from basic graphemes, blends, digraphs, R-controlled vowels, basically everything that your students need to learn to be competent in reading. And the way that this does both phonics and phonemic awareness is it does ask students identify letters and what sounds they make, but it also asks students to speak and say the letters and read aloud. So that is really nice, and in that way it does target the phonemic awareness element. So as you can see where I've been playing around a little bit, it shows me how much I've progressed through the current stage, and then my strongest phoneme so far and my weakest. I've only done S, so it is both my strongest and my weakest. It tells me when I played and how long I spent playing, which is useful if you want to make sure your students are actually being on task and using this when they're meant to be. This is definitely a supplemental resource, not a substitutive resource, something that students could have just in their activity folder to work on with any additional time, or as sort of a reward, quote unquote, educational activity to do at the end of their lesson, or just for a little bit of extra practice. So that's the teacher view. It's pretty simple, but we are going to pop over to the play button, and I'll show you what this will look like from a student perspective. So once they log in with their class code, they'll select their name. It'll look like this. They'll pick the group, and then they'll pick whatever their name is. I'm going to start with Ronan. And it does take a little bit to get through each one and give students plenty of practice, so I won't show you everything that it offers, but I will explain just a little bit.
Face, legs.
Students are able to design their own monster however they want to.
Head,
I won't
leg,
spend time doing
body.
that.
Are you
I'll just go ahead and get started.
Well done! Your monster is waving at you and ready to go on an adventure. Let's go! Once upon a time, your monster was zooming around the galaxy in
So
his
I'll go ahead and just
spaceship.
explain this part.
He wanted to explore
I feel
new
like this is
worlds,
especially
and he was
engaging for
imagining
students
all the
because it kind of
wonderful things
tricks
he
them
might
into thinking
find
they're not
there.
learning when they
Then,
are. The
one
whole
day,
point of
a
this
terrible storm
activity or
came.
these modules is for students to help
Your
their
monster's
monster
spaceship
learn how to
span
read.
out of control
He
and
doesn't know
crashed
anything,
on a
and to help
mysterious
him along
island.
with the process, he lands on this island. The king there makes him learn how to read. So he has to
What a
get
big
off the island to
crash!
fix his spaceship.
Your monster
That
looked
sort
in
of
his
thing.
repair
So
book,
it's really silly
but
setup,
didn't know
but
how to
I feel like
read
it really
it.
helps students get
Oh
engaged.
dear!
The graphics
What
are
could he
pretty
do?
nice for
Then he
it
looked
being a
around and
free
saw the
online
Island
game.
King. Hello, monster, said the king. Did you get caught up in that storm too? I lost all my
This
letters
is
in it.
a little bit of
If
what it
you
looks
find
like. I'll
my
let it play
letters,
for a
I
few
will
minutes
help
and
you
you can
fix
just
your
watch.
spaceship. But it is badly broken, and I can only fix one part of it. I will also give you a prize if you find my letter. Which prize would you like?
So it does have this in-game reward system.
Good choice, said the king. Now can you help me find the letters that make the sound S? Let's learn a new sound. S. As in...
Sun.
Can you say... S, S, S?
So again, like I said, it asks them
Who's
to
this?
manipulate that
Can
sound.
you help her find
and
the
it does
letters
that
that make the
throughout the rest of
sound
the activities. So some of the activities that come up, like this one, they have to find something that starts with a letter, and then they're asked to identify the letter,
The
say the
evil
letter
duck has captured a villager.
multiple
To
times
free the villager,
until
tap on all the buttons that make the sound.
they go back. Once they've mastered that specific letter, they'll move on to another letter,
Jump on the
and
pads
then
to
it'll
get to
slowly
the
start
next village.
reintroducing the letters to kind of have a little bit of additional practice as time goes on. But I was just really impressed by how in-depth the site is, and how
To
high
free the
quality
villager, tap
it
on
is
all the
for a
buttons that
free
make the
resource
sound.
that you can use in your classroom. You can track students' data.
Find the rest of my
Go ahead and go back
letters,
home.
and I can fix...
You can track students' data. It is structured. It's based in research. It was created by the Usborne Foundation, and it's constantly being updated and added to. So this has been Teach Your Monster for Phonemic Awareness, and this site can also help a lot with phonics.